Welcome to the channel. Today, we'll dive into the profound and often paradoxical thoughts of Charles Baudelaire, a poet who captured the complexity of human existence like no other. Baudelaire believed that beauty often lies in strangeness, and that evil is as natural as a blooming flower. He was captivated by the fleeting nature of life, urging us to extract the eternal from the ephemeral. For Baudelaire, happiness was found in small delights, while true genius was the ability to recapture the innocence of childhood. Love to him was both a need to escape oneself and a torment resembling torture. He also warned against the simplicity of common sense, emphasizing that true beauty often carries a touch of melancholy. Baudelaire's reflections remind us that life is a delicate balance between pleasure and work, between the horror and ecstasy of existence. In this, he urges us to embrace both the light and dark sides of our nature. Baudelaire was born in Paris in 1821. His early life was filled with pain and loneliness. His father passed away when he was only 6 years old, and his mother remarried a strict and authoritarian man, causing him to feel rebellious and melancholic. These early traumas led him towards a life of alienation and a rejection of social conventions. Baudelaire was fascinated by death, the occult, and the macabre. In his writings, he frequently depicted decaying corpses, cemeteries, and demonic figures. This interest in the darker aspects of life was not simply a literary motif, but an integral part of his everyday life. He associated with occult groups and was rumored to have engaged in esoteric rituals. Baudelaire was a habitual user of drugs and alcohol. His preference for opium and wine led him to experiences on the edge of consciousness, which he later translated into his works. The poet believed that the use of these substances was a means to access a higher reality, a kind of gateway to both the divine and the infernal. His love affairs were as tormented and deviant as his inner life. His muse and lover, Jeanne Duval, was a Creole woman of exotic and sensual beauty, but their relationship was marked by constant quarrels, betrayals, and a sick love. Baudelaire, incapable of healthy love, often sought solace in prostitutes, the only women who seemed to understand his existential anguish. Baudelaire openly challenged the bourgeois morality of his time. In The Flowers of Evil, he dared to explore themes such as lust, perversion, sin, and death, causing scandal and even standing trial for public morality offenses. The poet was not content with criticizing society. He wanted to dismantle it, exposing its hypocrisy and corruption. Baudelaire embraced an aesthetic of decadence, exalting beauty in evil and corruption. In his verses, degradation becomes sublime, and vice transforms into virtue. This aesthetic vision was a rebellion against the good taste and morality of the time, a way to affirm the artist's superiority over the mediocrity of the masses. Baudelaire saw himself as a cursed artist, destined to suffer for his genius. His life constantly oscillates between creative ecstasy and despair, a soul divided between the desire to rise above the human condition and the awareness of his misery. This duality is the beating heart of his work, which continues to resonate powerfully even today. In conclusion, Charles Baudelaire was a man who lived and wrote without compromise, plunging into the depths of his soul to find beauty in evil. His life and work remind us that true art is born from conflict, suffering, and perversion, turning pain into something eternally fascinating.